Hey everybody, welcome to Crack a Pack Tuesday number 56 on the Mana Leak. I'm John as always, and we've got another pack of Shadows over Innistrad. We're going to crack this pack, we're going to see what's in there, and we would figure out what we would take. Pack one, pick one, if this was a draft. Up first, we have an upside down card. Deny Existence. 2 and a blue for an instant. Counter target creature spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Totally fine counter spell. Counter spells that counter creatures are pretty good, although paying 3 mana for it is a little tiny bit expensive. You know, of course, Essence Scatter is better at 2 mana, but it's fine enough. It kind of goes into the blue-black control deck that doesn't terribly exist in this format, unfortunately. Certainly not a first pick card ever, though, but if you're able to go control-y, then it is an option, but generally doesn't exist too much in this format. Up next, we have a Stormrider Spirit. Stormrider Spirit is 4 and a blue for a creature spirit. It's a 3/3. It's got flash. It's got flying. Fine enough card. Again, late-ish game in blue, which just isn't something that's super coming together in this format. Not that I've seen yet, anyways. Yeah, it's fine. It's a low-powered finisher, sort of, for blue, but it's just not amazing, and it gets kind of outclassed, and 5 mana is a lot, so not a first pick. Not an exciting card. Up next, we have Explosive Apparatus. 1 generic mana for an artifact, 3 generic mana, tap it, sack it, and it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. It does go to the face, which is nice. It's an artifact that's going to go to the graveyard at some point relatively early in the game, so it helps enable Delirium. But it's just not a first pick card, and it's not main deckable unless you're searching for Delirium. Up next, because why should this pack have any color other than blue, we have a Drownyard Explorers. Drownyard Explorers is 3 and a blue for a creature human wizard. It's a 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, you get to investigate. Totally fine card. 2/4 for 4 is, kind of the usual cost to pay, and this gets an investigate on top of it when it ETBs, enters the battlefield. Totally fine. If you're in blue, you'll play this almost all the time. You won't first pick it, and it's not a sign that blue is open, but it's a fine card, just not first pickable. Next up, we have a Twins of Mauer Estate. Twins of Mauer Estate is 4 and a black for a creature vampire. It's a 3/5, and it's got Madness for 2 and a black. I've said this before about this card, and I'll say it again. If you cast this for its regular cost, it's okay. It's total filler. If you cast it for its Madness cost, it's pretty darn good. Getting this on turn 3 off an Era Falconwrath feels pretty good. It means that you're kind of ahead in that game already. If you're going down that route, definitely pick this up kind of mid-pack. If you're not, you can wait, or you can just pass it and not take it. Generally, I'll play these in every black deck, but if I'm black-red, I'll probably play the second one too. Twins of Mauer Estate, not first pickable, but main deckable. Up next, we have Insolent Neonate. Insolent Neonate is a single red mana for a creature vampire. It's a 1/1. It's got Menace. Discard a card, sacrifice it, draw a card. This is fine. It's a decent enough turn 1 play, and this format doesn't care about turn 1 plays, but having a turn 1 play is a nice thing to have some of the times. And this is a nice one. It does attack pretty darn well because it has Menace, so that 1 damage can add up over the first few turns. And then you can discard a card, hopefully a Madness card, sack it, and draw a card. So you get to basically draw a free card for sacking this if you do discard and cast a Madness card. It's a fine pick. It's not remotely first pickable, but I'll main deck the first one generally, and pretty happily if I am in Madness. Next up, we have Aim High. Aim High is 1 and a green for an instant. Untap target creature. It gets +2/+2 and gains reach until end of turn. Totally fine combat trick. It's blown me out more times than I can account for, but it's not first pickable. It's just not first pickable. Something this boring and bland is not something you would ever take first. You would generally main deck the first one. The second one would be probably not a wise decision. But yeah, this is something you can grab mid-pack, late-pack, etc. Not a first pick. Next up, we have Vampire Noble. Vampire Noble is 2 and a black for a creature vampire. It's a 3/2. And that's all it's got going for it. It's, just a 3-2 vanilla. It's fine. It's total filler if you're in black. Anything other than Vampires Matters. If you're in Vampires Matters, it's slightly better. This, of course, gets slightly better with an Indulgent Aristocrat or maybe with a Falcon Wrath Gorger, but not terribly. But it's fine filler. I would never first pick it, and I would never highly pick it, but I'll generally play them if I need a creature. So that's it for commons. We don't yet have a first pick. So what about Drunau Corpse Trawler? Drunau Corpse Trawler is 3 and a blue for a 1/1. That's really overcosted. But when it enters the battlefield, you do get a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, not tapped. Pay 2 and a black, target zombie gains death touch until end of turn. That's a fine enough addition. However, the black-blue zombie deck just doesn't really exist. My assumption, based on the promo art that we've seen for Eldritch Moon, is that there's gonna be zombies in Eldritch Moon. More of them. And then I think the blue-black zombie deck is gonna take off. For now, it doesn't really exist. And so I would never consider first picking a Drunau Corpse Trawler. Just not good enough for a first pick. If you're really trying to force that archetype, yeah, it's a good card. But other than that, it just doesn't do what I really want it to. Not in this format anyways. Up next, we have a Magnifying Glass. 3 generic mana for an artifact. Tap it, add a colorless to your mana pool. Pay 4, tap it, investigate. I've never seen this do anything, really. Seer's Lantern, this is not. And this format is not, beneficial for Seer's Lantern. It just doesn't fit. You don't want to take turn 3 off to cast a mana rock. You want to be casting creatures in this format, or the fast decks will run you over. I would never first pick a Magnifying Glass, and I've never seen a deck yet that wants to actually play it. So on to the last uncommon, and we don't have a first pick yet, so I hope it's good. Inner Struggle. 3 and a red for an instant. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. It punches itself in the face. Totally fine removal. Thankfully, a first pickable card. I love this card. I would put this in every single red deck. I would put the second one in every single red deck. It's just solid removal. Yeah, it doesn't kill everything. So looking back through the cards that we've gotten, it would not kill the Drownyard Explorers or the Twins of Mauer Estate, but it would kill everything else. So you're going to miss here and there, but generally it's going to kill something, hopefully, that costs more than it, and it can just straight up kill a lot of the bombs. So I'm very, very happy with an Inner Struggle in this pack. It certainly is a potential first pick. Our rare is From Under the Floorboards. From Under the Floorboards is 3 black for a sorcery. You can Madness it for X black. And it says, put 3 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield tapped, and you gain 3 life. If it was cast for its Madness cost, then instead you put X of those tokens onto the battlefield tapped, and you gain X life. Totally fine card. It can produce a lot of zombies if you're in Madness, and even if you cast 3, it's totally fine. It's not exciting, and the fact that they do come in tapped means that it does very little for you if you're behind. I've had this cast against me a number of times, and I had to remind my opponent they're tapped, right? And then I just attack in, and they're even further behind before those zombies have a chance to untap. So you do want to make sure you're in the right deck for this, and you want to make sure that you're ahead generally when you cast it. But yeah, From Under the Floorboards is totally fine. I probably would consider first picking it in most packs. I'm not sure about this one, though. We'll have to discuss that in a second. We have 2 flip cards that I've seen. The first one is the common Hinterland Logger, 2/1, and it has the Werewolf flip ability. It becomes a 4/2 trample, and then it flips on back if you cast 2 spells, or if your opponent casts 2 spells. Totally fine card, totally filler. It's a 2/1 for 2, which is okay. Becomes a 4/2 trample, which is good. You're never going to first pick it, ever, but you're almost always going to play the first one in any green deck, so away it goes. And we have a rare flip card. We have Handwear Militia Captain. 1 and a white for a 2/2, so it's a bear, so it's fine. Creature Human Soldier. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 4 or more creatures, including itself, transform it into Westvale Cult Leader. It's a star. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature token onto the battlefield. So this thing gets bigger and bigger as it pumps out more and more tokens. I like this card. I like this card a whole lot. It's a 2-drop. It's a 2/2 2-drop, which is fantastic, and it becomes much bigger, potentially as early as turn 3 or turn 4. Really happy with it. Certainly a potential first pick. So this pack was looking horrible up into the last 4 cards there, but we finally got a bit of a discussion here. We've got red removal, we've got black, kind of flood the board with zombies, and we've got white, super kind of low curve, aggressive kind of person. I think from under the floorboards doesn't quite hold a candle to Inner Struggle or Handwer Militia Captain, so I'm going to remove it. And I think ultimately Handwer Militia Captain is just so good. It's low cost, which you generally want in this format, and it goes in one of the better decks in the format, green-white humans. Yeah, Handwer Militia Captain, totally my first pick for sure. But definitely let me know what you would have taken. Would you have taken from under the floorboards, the Militia Captain, the Inner Struggle, or something else? Let me know in the comments below. You can also vote in the little poll in the top right-hand corner. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at @TheManaLeak. That's LEEK. Like the vegetable, not the card, and I just hit my camera. Hopefully I didn't make you all seasick. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/TheManaLeak. You've found me here on YouTube. You've got that comment section down below. Please make use of it. As well, if you like my videos, click that little thumbs up icon and hit subscribe. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on those places. So let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.